There were two people who could have saved Terry Schiavo: the husband and that original judge.
Do we believe in the sanctity of all human life, or do we believe in the sanctity of some human life?
By order of the government, a healthy young woman was denied food and water until she died. It's unthinkable.
Our only intention from the beginning was to simply bring Terry home and care for her.
The legal fight over Terry Schiavo began in 1990, when her heart failed, cutting oxygen to her brain. She was 26 and lived in St. Petersburg, Florida. Court-appointed doctors said Terry would never recover from the brain damage, and for the last 13 years, she's needed feeding and hydration tubes to stay alive. That's against her stated wishes, says Terry's husband, Michael. He's been battling her parents in court, seeking to allow her to die.
Terry has been through years and years of rehabilitation. There's no more improvement for Terry.
Last week, after Florida's Supreme Court refused to block a lower court ruling in Michael's favor, doctors removed the tubes, expecting Terry to die of starvation within 2 weeks. Her parents and siblings objected strongly, saying Terry never told them her final wishes, and she left no written directive.
Terry hasn't had any chance to recover from her injury or whatever happened to her that night, and we believe she would want a chance at that. We don't believe Terry had any wishes. We think she would never want to die a starvation death.
Initially, after Terry's collapse, we were all working together with Michael and our family, trying to do everything we could to help Terry to improve her condition.
She was in hospitals, and then she was in nursing homes, and then she went to California to put the implant in her, in her head, see if that would help. And when she came back here, she went into a rehab center down in Bradenton.
Doctors believed that she was a candidate for rehabilitation therapy, so we started aggressively doing that, providing her the therapy and rehabilitation the doctors recommended that she needed, and she was improving.
And that's when she was starting to talk down there, stop, mommy, okay, little things.
The first couple years, after 1990, after her collapse, there are notes in her medical files where nurses were writing that Terry was starting to speak. She was forming words from her rehabilitation, and she was getting better. And we were very encouraged by that.
Terry was fed differently than you and I. She was fed through a tube, but she was fed at night. So during the day, she could be sitting up in a chair watching TV. And she wasn't on any type of other machines. Nothing else was hooked up. There were no IVs. There was no respirators. Terry was simply a disabled woman.
But the courts ruled that the evidence before them from neurologists and other experts was that poor Terry is in a persistent vegetative state. What that means is she's not having any conscious actions or thoughts or anything else. She's not seeing, she's not hearing, and she's not feeling. Respect for life is something precious, and we all do agree that it's important for courts and legislatures to protect it. On the other hand, the right of people to say no to burdensome treatment has also been protected heretofore by Florida statute. The concern here is a dispute about, one, whether or not the diagnosis is accurate, and two, whether or not the husband's a good surrogate or not. But as I say, I think most reasonable people, a direction, by the way, that the Florida statute takes elsewhere, would say that after 13 years of unconsciousness, with the best experts saying there's no alternative, surely morality makes room for that kind of treatment to be removed. That's what the law says, that's what ethics says, and by the way, it's what most of our major faith traditions say.
The real question is not whether someone would want to care for them, but what the patient would have wanted. The reason this case was referred to me is that I argued in the late 80s, early 90s Florida's landmark right to die case, in which the Florida Supreme Court basically said that people have a right to control their medical treatment. If they want something, they can have it, but if they don't want medical treatment, they can refuse it.
It was very successfully argued to this judge, this trial judge, that Terry wanted to die even though she never left anything in writing.
Michael, in the first few years of Terry, after Terry's cardiac arrest, believed the same as the parents. I mean, he misinterpreted the involuntary actions of Terry as consciousness, and he said, she's there, and I know she's there, and I know she understands me, and I know she can get better. And so that took a long time for him.
We still believed with love, care, taking her home, making her part of the family, maybe future advancements, that Terry could get better.
Terry, open your eyes.
They loved her the way she was, but they thought there could be gradual improvement over time. The husband had pretty much written her off. That's why he warehoused her, isolated her, cut off all the rehab and therapy. And so his argument was she would never get better. But whether she would get better or not, in the condition she was in, she was as alive as any person watching this program.
There you go, good. Good job, young lady, good job.
Michael Schiavo's attorney said it was a peaceful and painless way to die. He came out and did a press conference and said that he never saw Terry look so beautiful.
It was definitely not a peaceful way to die. They sell that bill of goods to people so they can continue to do it. But it was the most awful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mary Schindler said to me in the hallway the last time she saw her daughter alive, she said, "David, what I don't understand, why do they have to kill my little girl?"
We just wanted to care for her. Millions of people care for disabled, loved ones every day, and that's all I wanted to do. That's all we wanted to do.
Why does there seem to be a presumption toward the death option when the woman's parents are willing to take care of her? Why can't we have a law that says the presumption is toward life unless you sign something, and there's something very concrete that's definable in a court of law saying, no, I don't want these measures taken? To me, there should be a presumption toward life, but everyone have the right to sign something which makes it very cut and dry.